yeah. I can get used to your loving. Can never take you for granted. Steadily loving your body. Oh, oh, damn when I lie, your body should be sign to me wonders. It come to be like my weakness, so I'm addicted to your pretty, pretty ways. Hey, Savannah, my baby body very heavy like Rihanna. Hey, designer, my baby sexy body today do me better. Yo, B, bitch, I'm about to let that bitch go. Run it up for the summer, making it like a drama. Call me up, take my number. Your future bright, girl. In your dress, you looking so beautiful. And you we blessed, we pull up the city full. We never stress, because you know the belly full. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And every other day, we go testify. Girl, it's about to be certified. None in the genius to verify. Give me love, no, 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 no. I can get used to your loving. Can never take you for granted. Steadily loving your body. Yeah. I can get used to your loving. Can never take you for granted. Steadily loving your body. Oh, 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 damn when I lie, your body should be sign to me wonders. It come to be like my weakness, so I'm addicted to your pretty, pretty ways. Hey, Savannah, my baby body very heavy like Rihanna. Hey, designer, my baby sexy body today do me better. In your dress, you looking so beautiful. And you we blessed, we pull up the city full. We never stress, because you know the belly full. Yeah. Ooh, and every other day we go testify. Girl, it's about to be certified. None in no genius to verify. Give me love, no, 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 no. I can get used to your loving. Can never take you for granted. Steadily loving your body. Yeah. I can get used to your loving. Can never take you for granted. Steadily loving your body. Oh, I can get used to your loving. Can never take you for granted. Steadily loving your body. I can get used to your loving. Can never take you for granted. Steadily loving your body. Oh.
Okay, so we just did Stoneboy. As I said, Stoneboy's concert is next week. And if you're in London, you have to do us a favor and attend. We have to celebrate and support our own. It's time for DIY. My guest just walked in, but yeah, let's do DIY first. DIY, we're going to talk about throw pillows. The month of August is literally 5 minutes away from Christmas, 5 minutes away from the parties, the weddings, the funerals, everything that lets people congregate at a place. So August, September, October, November, December. So you're really going to be hosting during December. Your throw pillows matter. This is the time to be looking at certain accents like that, right? Now, the thing with throw pillows is that people normally just use them to fill the sofas. Like, oh, my sofa is bare, it looks dry, it doesn't look comfy, let me add throw pillows. But there's an art to throw pillows. You need, I'm not going to talk about the sizes of medium, large, small, oversized. I'm not talking about the textures right now. What I'm talking about is the covers. Now, the covers is very important because we are humans. We have kids. If you don't have kids, you yourself, you sleep in your couch. You would use it to prop your back if you're watching something, or if you're using your laptop, you're using your phone. But what happens is, if you don't buy the throw pillows that have the double covers, then your throw pillow is going to be in that perpetual state of smelling like sweat, of being dirty, and every time you see it, you'll be upset in your house, and you don't want that. So your DIY tip going forward, at least from now as you prepare for Christmas, is always look for throw pillows that have double covers and that have metal zips, invisible metal zips. Do not look for plastic. I'm saying that largely because the plastic zips are of low quality. I can't explain why, I don't know why, but those are almost 99.9% of low quality. So look for the invisible zips. Do 2 covers at least. And then where you buy your throw pillows from, always ask them if they have an extra inlay, so that if you use your pillow and it becomes flat over time, and it will, within a year, human behavior, within a year, maximum 1 year, 6 months, your pillows become flat. So always ask for an extra inlay that you have. Then always do 2 covers. Is the 2 covers that you can do the color options, the texture options, and all of that. But just make sure that you have 2 covers, so that if one is dirty, you replace. And then always look for invisible zips, metal. Run away from plastic, I beg you. All right, so we're going to start with our discussion. It's like literally 11 minutes past when my guest is here. I have known my guest for 100 years now. And I'll let him introduce himself, but I'm going to ask him one question before he starts talking plenty about what we're going to do today. Delali, me, I know you, but my guests don't know you. How do you, after you introduce yourself, right, how do you relax? I'm saying this because, oh, Delali, don't let my Eve come out. Oh, Delali. I'm saying this because I have had literally everybody here. I've had surveyors here. I've had architects here. I've had lawyers here. I've had a bit of some types of artisans here. And I always want to get into that headspace because they are mostly people who own their businesses. Yeah. And Ghana, we have this thing I call hustle culture, that if you are getting up, you are moving, that means you are most busy, you are doing well. I think it's rubbish. Yeah. So I always ask that, please, how do you relax? I think relaxing is also one of those things. So introduce yourself and how do you relax? Let's start from there.
Well, relaxation is how the brain takes out the trash. Essentially, that's what the medical people tell us. But the thing about relaxation also is that it's different for different people. For some, it's a sleep. For some, it's just switching from the dominant activity that they are doing at that very time. Yeah. So if, for example, you are somebody who is studying, you are studying quite a lot, and then you decide to say, go solve a puzzle or do something else, which is also brain tasking, but the fact that it is not the same thing that you were doing can't be described as relaxation. Okay. But we also need to look at it in different forms. What are you relaxing from? Mentally, is there mental relaxation you are looking at, or is there physical relaxation that you are looking at? I think that it's difficult to find an activity that it's able to combine mental, physical, and emotional relaxation.
Oh, why?
Well, because we are at different stages at different times of our lives. For some people, when they think about relaxation, it's just let me sleep. It does not necessarily mean that the mental load is off.
You're shading me.
Am I?
Yes. What's that?
Sleep will relax the body. It might not relax the mind and the emotions. You need to find an outlet for those also. Yeah. Sometimes it's not the body that needs relaxing, it's the mind that needs relaxing. So you need to find that thing. And as we are all getting older, now you see all the gray in my hair and all. I find these days that walking long distances. I used to love running, but I busted my knee some time past. So
he likes to climb too. He thinks I won't say it.
Yeah.
He likes to climb.
So walking long distances, listening to something that's it's not directly related to anything that I do. It could be anything, anything. Some theory somewhere from some godforsaken place somewhere.
You're
Then
such a nerd, Della.
you find correlation with what you are doing later. So yeah,
Okay.
relaxation, it's very important, but at that particular time, you need to know yourself and figure out, what do I want to relax from? Am I trying to relax mentally? Am I trying to relax from my emotions? Or does my body just need rest? The easiest one is my body needs
It's
rest. I just sleep that.
Okay. You see, I brought a nerd, so it means that the solar discussion is solid. So complete nerd.
Show me your friends, I'll show you your character.
Oh,
So
please.
if you are the center around which we revolve, then it says a lot about you too, doesn't it?
I'll mind you. When production and I were looking at this topic, I told my producer that I know only one person who can discuss this thing with me, because he understands what it is to rent, to own, to build.
Yes.
And that person is Della. Della, real estate in Ghana and solar energy. What is it? Oh, give me broad overview. Like you are in the middle of it. But step outside of it and explain, what is it? What's that?
Right now is the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
Yes. That is not to say there are no standards. There are regulations and standards that's in place, especially technical standards. But in terms of support, which defines how an industry grows in a country, that support could be the private sector coming together, like they would do in America. To have a massive Silicon Valley that says that this is what we intend to push, or the government comes in and says this is what we want to push, or a community. Why I say it's the wild, wild west is that everybody, solar is in the state seems to be aspirational for a lot of people. It's it must become I don't want to say must do, but it must become part of, if you are building, you roof your house. If you are roofing in modern times, you might as well put up some panels up there. And because it's still the wild, wild west, lots of the things that we do that needs to change for the industry to take roots are not being done yet. So first point, if you take real estate, most people, when you say real estate, are thinking gated communities, thinking, I don't even want to look at that one yet. We can come to that one later. But I'm talking about you. Let's take it in stages. Young man, you've started life. You want a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom house. Okay. The way we go about it is this, and bringing it out of the wild, wild west is this. It's about planning. If you do it as an afterthought, I'm sure you know by now, especially in construction, it's going to cost you way more. But if you have it integrated in everything that you want to do, and right from the word go, you are doing, you know, this is where I want to get to, it actually tends to be cheaper. Why? From my company, Max Energy, for example, we do solar along with with energy efficiency. That is where to start from. Any person who comes to me, any client I speak to, say, you want to do solar? Oh, that's fine. Can we try to make you efficient first? Because the way to think about this is, if you are consuming, say, 2,000 cedis worth of electricity a month, because you are largely inefficient for a small space, and I can get you down to consume 1,000 cedis per month, that's invariably means that the size of the system that we put in place will be smaller. So it means your capital outlay for that will be smaller.
But wait, when you say that, so does it mean that you are looking at already how much we consume a month? Is that what you mean?
It's one of the factors. And
really?
what you consume a month, whether it's commercial or residential, has a lot to do with your built environment. So you remember your nursery rhyme, sun rises from the east and sets in the west. Sometimes I even find that architects tend to forget this.
No, they are
basic
forgotten.
Principle.
Because when you look at how windows are being placed,
exactly how windows are oriented, which rooms are facing where.
Yeah, they forgot.
So you go to a place, for example, and the bedrooms have their major windows facing west.
Yeah.
If that house is going to be inhabited by a young family, by parents who go to work, children who go to school. What that means is that the sun that's setting in the west from in a few hours time, from about 3-4, there's going to be a lot of heat ingress into that room through those windows. And if you're not even using walls that have high thermal resistance, and you have a lot of heat ingress into that room. Most people also, when they leave home, would have closed their windows, even if you don't close it. Now they come back home and the mattress is hot. You sleep on it and you feel heat coming from it. The whole room is warm. So the first thing they do is to turn on the fan or turn on an air conditioner. And that's just spiking up your cost. However, if from the start you had wise counsel, had competent people put in place for you, know that, okay, even if I'm forced to put a bedroom on the west side, where do I place the windows so that I'm not just trapping a lot of heat? My bedroom doesn't become a greenhouse. Why don't I put it on the east side, for example? The sun wakes me up in the evening. When I want to relax, the sun is on the other side. My room doesn't get heated. It's back to the basics. You have people these days also, not that people, I see it all around, they are putting in glazed windows, which is not a bad thing, but the kind of
It's
the
bad.
kind well, if you see, listen, if you get the technology right, you see, when you, for example, take this German casement windows, for example, if you are trying to copy properly, they are double paned, they are triple paned, they have an inert gas within the panes. Did you know that you need to replace those inert gases for those paned windows? For most of them after 10 years. Some of them, the very high quality ones, 15, 20 years. Now, you have people who have put in these glazing. They've already blocked off half of the window. Number one, it is not even double pane or triple pane. So essentially, you've become a greenhouse. You are cooking yourself in there. Are trapping all the heat that comes in. And those who even go for the double pane and the single pane, they don't refresh the gas that's also in there. And then also for commercial spaces, you do this whole thing, and then there are lots of gaps around the casement windows. You know, they haven't sealed properly. So you are trying to air condition a space, and you are air conditioning the whole neighborhood. Because you go, you stick your hand there, we just use a thermal gun around the windows and the doors, and you see the amount of heat exchange that is going on. You're like, wow, this is money that is going. I went to a popular place to get cake for my family, and the entrance had glass, which was all nice, all beautiful, but horribly non-functional.
Did you do your thing? Did you go and stand there and start looking around and wanted
Oh
to ask
no,
questions?
I was inside. I struck a conversation. I don't ask questions. I strike conversations. I start a conversation.
Such a nerd.
I start a conversation. So I started a conversation, and we're talking, and then the lady saw where I was going, so she went to get her boss. I'd say the place, and if I mention the location, where I'm like, okay, I'm like, look, you are wasting money, you are spending money. In fact, the amount of money you are wasting is the cake I'm about to buy every month. So it's like the cakes that you bake, you've dedicated 2 or 3 of it just to cool down the whole of Laboni. I mean, and you can't blame her, but thing is, some things are very obvious that you should just pay attention to.
So wait, let me interrupt again. So does it mean that if I'm listening to you very carefully, so does it mean that we need to bring people like you our drawings before we set up the building? Is that what it means?
Ideally, you see, when you are doing your drawings, you have an architect that will do. You have an electrical engineer that will also do this. You have a structural person that will do. Ideally, these people are supposed to be very much steeped in efficiency. Okay. If they are not, and especially with, look, right now, the basics of prosperity is energy.
Yeah, it's true.
So there's a great correlation between how much energy a country uses per capita and how prosperous they are. Okay. Now, it's always been like that from the beginning. But now when we say energy, what do we think of first? Electricity. Because electricity, motors drive everything around us. Transportation is also now going to be electrified. when I say going to be because of the environment in which we are, in
But
other places,
already
it already is electrified.
Yeah.
Today's discussion is not about whether our grid can handle it and all that stuff. But what that essentially means is that you have to start planning. In the environment in which we are, most of us have poly tanks in our house. It's an abnormally elsewhere that's I've done works and trained. You don't have. Look, one of the things you come to Ghana and take a look at, the windows will have all these passy guards and burglar proofing in there. It's a statement of our society being a low trust society. If you think that you've had to take care of your own water supply to, in a sense, take care of your own security also, why do you think that the more the country gets prosperous, you think that our governance as a setup can be able to take care of our electricity? Because if, for example, you take an electric vehicle that's probably 50 kilowatt hour, when you charge it at our current tariffs, that's about, let's say, 125 cedis. Cheap, right?
Yeah.
As compared to maybe if you have to fill up your tank, 500 and all
Yeah.
the stuff. Okay. Now, this is a young man with a small electric vehicle, 50 kilowatt hour, driving it, maybe refilling it once a week, 125. That means that his electricity bill is going to shoot up to about 500 cedis.
Yeah.
His whole house consumption a month is probably that 500, 600 cedis.
I'm sure it's a month. People are
Paying way more, but I'm starting with young
average,
people who have
okay.
just started. So they
Okay.
are just in a small place.
Okay.
They are not using air condition
mission
that
and all
much.
of that. Okay.
Even let's double it and say 1,000 cedis. You are now going to go 50% more because 500 cedis. You are moving from 1,000 cedis to 1,500.
Yeah.
Granted, that 500 cedis per month is way cheaper than if you were buying fuel directly into the car.
Yeah.
But here it is. We have an air conditioner running here.
Doing its thing.
Doing its thing. It's when I look at it, I can see it's at most a 2 horsepower. That's a 1.5 kilowatts. Okay, so if I run this for however long it is that I run it, when I'm charging a vehicle, level 1 is 7 kilowatts. Level 2 is about 21 kilowatts or what. So when I'm charging, that's the thresholds. I mean, you can charge at lower. If I'm dealing with the thresholds, say a 7 kilowatts, that means when I plug my electric vehicle in, I am running about 4 or 5 of these at a time. It's the electrical wiring in your house such that it can handle this.
Please no.
I did a site visit 2 days ago, and I literally had to tell the client, look, we can't do this for you until you change a lot. If you see the size of cabling, it's all wrong. That is coming into the house. And then now you want to come add those high consuming things. So that's why it's still the wild, wild west. For us to get, and when we talk about energy independence. For us to get to a certain level of that energy independence, for a lot of people, the wiring in the house needs to change. Even the incomer. You come in, the incomer is probably 63 amps, not 125 amps. You can't charge vehicles in a house like that.
So I was going to go back to that because that is where I come in a lot. The cabling.
Yes.
Do you people have a say on or have you people screamed and yelled enough when it comes to cabling?
Okay.
Because now
Yes.
there's an influx now, because I talk about cabling for the small things, or maybe kitchen installations, bedroom, maybe lights and those things. But I also at my level see that this thing that you have brought,
It's not going to.
it's not going to work, you know. But who is yelling? Are you people also yelling?
Well, there are Ghana Standards Authority is, Energy Commission is,
Okay.
all the relevant Association of Energy Engineers is, Ghana Institute of Engineers is. But then is who is listening?
Nobody.
It would surprise you the number of people who have money but don't know what to do, and they are relying on some cousin or some nephew who just wants to, and they are building, so they are going for the cheapest thing. The cabling issue is a very serious issue. Maybe now because of position in life, some of us are. There are certain works when we come and we see, and you are not going to go the way which we are not doing the work.
I raised my hand. I've learned too much. I've
Yes.
suffered too much.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
raised
not
my-
doing it.
I won't do it.
I'm not
Yeah,
doing
I've
it.
raised my
It's because I don't want
The
to
calls,
be done
the
and
headache.
there's something happens and no, because as you have more projects on hand, you want the thing to be such that the best built thing is the one that fades into the background. Nobody even thinks about
I
it
like that statement.
being there anymore.
I
You
like
know,
that statement.
we know it's a beautiful thing, but we don't think about it. It just works.
Yes.
But if we have to always be thinking of today we are changing the switch in the house, tomorrow we are doing this, today we are doing this. You notice I'm saying all these before we even come to solar.
Yeah.
Look, when you are building, one of the things, for example, I recommend to my clients is after your electrician has finished wiring, it's part of the recommendations before they give you a meter. But you know how
Yeah,
ECG folks will. Just ask them to install an RCD. There's something called an RCD, residual carrying device. Sometimes it's called an RCBO, sometimes it's called an RCCB. What it essentially does is that it looks for leakage.
Ah.
Okay, so we use AC current. The power that comes through the live is supposed to return through the neutral.
Okay.
Now, if what is coming in and returning, there's a drop, then it's either your child is being electrocuted or you yourself are being electrocuted in the bath or in the swimming pool or something
Yeah.
has misfunctioned or there's a leakage.
Yeah.
You know, that also means that your bills are going high.
Yeah.
So we have them in 30 milliamps, 100 milliamps, 300 milliamps. The 30 milliamps is to protect you, the individual. 100 and 300 it's for equipment and property. So it measures what is coming in and what is going out. If it doesn't tally, and maybe it goes beyond 300, it means there's either a leakage or somebody is being electrocuted. It will go off. Now, it's not an expensive device. You can get an RCD. In fact, yesterday I bought one. Let me not advertise them. And it was barely 400 CDs.
Okay.
You can get, and that's even a 3-phase one. You can get single-phase ones for
And
like
you
150, 200.
Hold that thought. I've also reached that point where I say that now when it comes to things like that, of furnishing, of accessorizing, of the things that, as you said, are important and will benefit, like the long term, we should stop counting the coin.
Actually, yes.
No, now I've
It
reached
is
that
very
point.
true.
We should stop that.
It's what's the financial cost of your life? What's the monetary cost of your life, of your health? If you can quantify that, then spending 1,000 CDs or 400 CDs is nothing.
Please go
But
ahead.
let me finish the thought about
Yes,
the
please
RCD,
go
which
ahead.
is when you install it, when, for example, we find that sometimes they've done the wiring, neutral is either short, something is short. Because the things don't tally, it shuts down the house. And it frustrates the local electricians. So even when you force them, and we found that sometimes in high-end properties, you will see the thing there, but they haven't fixed it. They've bypassed it. So when when you see your distribution board, you don't open it up.
No.
When I come to your house, I will open it up. So all the wiring is behind the cover.
Yeah.
You would see it there, but they haven't wired it.
Wow.
You need to make sure that they have, because especially now that we all have water heaters, we have pools, whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody has a water heater now.
Yeah.
That's when you hear somebody's in a hotel. It happens in hotels a
Yes.
lot. They got electrocuted, they died, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's basic things like this. We were with a client yesterday. Their pump had messed up, and it was leaking current badly. And fortunately for him, he has a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old in the house. And because we had put in an RCD, it shut down the house. Then he brought in the plumber. The guy was like, "Oh, let's remove this thing." You know what he did? The earth from the pump, he removed it, and the thing was working. And he was like, "It is what we had." And he was talking to my head of installations. I head of installations, "Are you mad?
Yeah.
You have removed the earth. Essentially, it is how I
Free
can
flow.
say."
That is
So
it.
there's nothing, the pathway that was even taking the leakage away, now it's going directly into the house. So if you don't have an RCD and you're hearing us now, try and get whoever did the electrical wiring for you to fix it. And when they are fixing it, maybe just have time and be there. Let them test it. When it goes off, it tells you there's a lot of problems in the house. Invest money and make sure that they fix all these things. This RCD will detect leakage for you.
Okay.
If current is leaking, that is power that is going away. You sometimes, and ECG gets frustrated with people. They'll say, oh, my meter is running too fast. No, dear. There's some leakage somewhere in the house.
They always that's fair, because ECG, they always say that no, check your wiring. It's something they've always maintained, that it has nothing to do with us really.
Yeah.
Check your wiring, and we are always shouting at them. I know, but Delali, I've got my wiring correct. I've got everything correct.
You've got an efficient building.
Why is solar so expensive? Why are we, myself included, why are we running away from it? Is it because, one, the things are not produced here, so everything is expensive, imported? But what is it? Why? What's the thing about your pricing? Not you, but the pricing. The pricing.
Okay. So we can't run away from the fact that it is expensive. I think it's also been a function of how economics has been around the world. Solar, when we started, for example, you have to go to Germany to learn these things and really get the kind of expertise that's where most of the products used to come from. And, you know, once they put a made in Germany tag on it, you know how it goes. They used to have the markets until our cousins in China stepped in. And then when they did, initially, some of us didn't used to pay attention to them. But now, for the past 7, 8, 9 years, there is no tier 1 product that is manufactured anywhere else apart from China. You see a Canada solar panel, for example, and it's made in China. Now, this is why, let me just use an analogy, why it's expensive. Let's take a house. Let's say you are going off-grid, okay? Even if you were just doing grid tie. For electricity to come to your house, it is produced somewhere. So it's either Asogli has produced it with their thermal plants, or Akosombo is running their turbines. Then after they are finished producing, somebody transports the power. Gridco will transport the power, distribute it across the country. Then, depending on where you are, if you're in the southern part of Ghana, ECG, if you're in the northern part, Netco, after Gridco distributes the various bulk supply points and the substations, now ECG takes over. And then that's the retail and then transmission. So before power comes into your house, you have a producer, VRA, Asogni. You have Gridco distributing, you have ECG. And this is why it's very important to get engineers involved in building these power plants in your house. Now you are sitting in your house, you want to be your own VRA. You want to be your own Gridco. You want to be your own ECG. Secondly, a solar power plant has very little consumable. You put it in, if it is well engineered, you forget about it. A generator needs to be fueled. So depending on how long it goes, every day you probably need to buy fuel. But once you put panels up there, there's no other consumable. It's not consuming anything. The thing it's consuming is an infinite resource. That's just the sun. So as long as the sun is up, it is producing for you. The only thing you probably need to do is clean the panels once in a while if you live in a dusty environment. And these days with the big push projects that's going on, there's a lot of dust in there. We are not complaining. We are
happy.
We are happy, but let them speed it up a bit.
Eli is diabolical. You say I am the diabolical one. Have you seen?
They should speed it up a bit. So that will be the thing. Can you clean it yourself, or are you getting somebody? And sometimes, even depending on location, you can choose not to clean it and let the rain do it. That is if it's installed properly. If you get a 15-degree angle, it naturally washes itself. When the dust settles on it, it just moves down, and the rain comes and then it washes it. Now, because there's no consumable, now a panel is rated for 25 years, for example. And after 25 years, it's not that there's no more working, it's that its capacity comes down to 80% of its capacity. What you're essentially doing with a solar system is you are putting together your electricity bills of, say, 5 or 6 years and paying for it now. So it's like buying a car and taking public transport. We all want to get to, we are in, what's this place called?
East Lagos.
No,
Where
please, this is
Z-
not East Lagos.
Oh, this is
Recently, I heard the Gans give the proper name of their places.
You can't do that to us. We are.
No, but we should push the local names. You know, South Africa has successfully done that. So
Are we talking about South Africa here? Don't upset me.
Okay, I would, well, I can't run away because I do a lot of work there.
I know.
So,
I know you get your people, but please.
yes. But just let me give a good example of what's going on in there. For example, you have places renaming.
Okay.
So Johannesburg, Kamie, Kuhueleni, they are going back to their local names. I think that we have anglicized. Yeah, maybe let's come back to this.
It's true. But I like how do you call it? Like from Adenta, you have Malijo, a man from like those.
John and Baolishi, yes, Jolu. And you say all those names with these recent floods.
Yeah.
If you speak Ghana, and you say they actually were telling us what would happen.
Yes.
With the names.
Yes. And
we didn't listen because we started calling it rich and
yes,
cantonment.
They're like, I won't bite you again. You put us in trouble.
Back to it. You are taking public transport, whether it's Uber or whatever. And I say that, okay, look, we want to go to OT region, for example. I say, when we take, we are going to Tamale. When we go and get a VIP, it's 280 cedis. But I am telling you, go and buy a car. So that, because if we are going to Tamale, when we get to Tamale, we'll need to move around in Tamale itself. If we have a car, we have the convenience or everything. So you're looking at 280 cedis as compared to, say, let's say 100,000 cedis for a good car that can do the journey to Tamale. 100,000 cedis. Of course, you are going to say it's expensive. Yeah. But when you cost how long that car is going to last for you, the time you are buying back, the convenience, your ability to transact business at your own pace and at your own beck and call. You want to move stuff. You know, you can easily move them. You can do, a client calls me right now, I can easily go to Tamale, for example, as compared to, am I looking for a flight? Am I looking for a car? It's the same thing with solar. You're essentially doing things on your own. At the initial stage, it's a little bit expensive. But if it is well designed, you are able to break even for commercial spaces. We've done systems that have broken even 2 years, 3 years. For residential systems, it's about 4 to 5 years. The reason being that solar produces during the day, and most of us are not home during the day. Okay. So we have to now invest in batteries, which are more expensive as compared to the panels, to store the production for us. So that pushes the time for the amortization. But for a commercial space, let's say a bank, I can't use this place because you guys are 24/7, but places that are working during typical working hours, the sun is producing during the day, they are consuming immediately. So their period of amortization sometimes can be a year, 2 years, and it's paid back. But for residential, because now you have to also invest in batteries, it becomes more expensive, pushes your amortization period to maybe 4 or 5 years. And this is where, when I started, I was giving you the groundwork and I said, Wild, Wild West. This is where, if money was friendly, cheap in our circumstances, we could have easily solved this. So, which will be that, look, Stambik is doing that. They are my bankers. Sarah, Emma, and the rest. I'll send you a bill for advertising because they're actually doing some. They are doing some product financing where you can get solar and pay over a certain period of time. Yeah. So that initial capital does not hit you immediately. You pay over a certain period of time. But if you think about it that way, when we design systems, for example, for houses where you have pensioners or you have people working from home, the return on investment is, the amortization period is very short because they are consuming immediately. You know, what is being produced, they are consuming, they are not investing too much in batteries. Our problem is that you cannot build a solar system here without putting in batteries, especially for residential.
Why?
Because, well, we are doing very well, Ghana, as compared to other countries. You don't want me to mention them, but we are doing very well, even compared to them. They are having rolling blackouts. We scream a lot as Ghanaians, but we don't know what blackouts are, trust me.
It's true. The Nigeria one.
As for Nigeria, the grade comes in once in a while. Look, I was in a hotel in Nigeria, and within a period of 1 hour, the generator went on and off. I am not exaggerating. About 8 times.
Yeah. I've experienced 5. I'm like, hey, why? What's going on
Yeah.
here? So now I don't talk about light.
No. But once again, we want the best here, but we have a serious annoyance for when the lights go off.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Also because we didn't build properly. Our houses are keeping too much heat within, so we cannot stand. We look. If you look at how we used to build in the past to how we build now, there was proper cross ventilation, so you don't need much to cool down the house. We had our own form of chimneys, not the type of chimney in the West, but it's what we call the Iranians do it a lot. You heat up a certain portion and heat rises up and exits. We don't, and you as somebody in the renewable energy industry installing panels, I look at some roofs and I get annoyed. I'm like, you just want to kill us. You look at the steepness of the roof. But you see, that roof that is designed that way, what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to pull up heat from the house and it rises and exits.
Yeah.
The roofing companies, you bring your design, they'll give it to you. But the point is that you are supposed to have ventilators on top of it, either an active or a passive ventilator, so that the heat that is coming from within the house has an outlet.
Yeah.
But what do we see? Number one, you put in corrugated sheets or metal sheets or whatever, they have heat that is coming through. Your ceiling is not insulated. So your roofing already, it's like a cooking utensil. The heat is coming through. Your ceiling is not insulated. Yeah, these days we do a lot of POP and all, but the extent of insulation they give is not much for the kind of environment in which we are. Then there is no way for that heated space within your ceiling to escape. So what you are essentially doing is trapping a lot of heat on top of you.
You're cooking yourself.
You are cooking yourself, and you need to run an air conditioner.
Yeah. And the fans don't do anything. They just circulate it.
It's just circulating it. You see, because the heat is sitting on top of you.
Yeah.
Heat rises.
Yeah.
Cold goes down because heat is less dense than cold. You don't give an outlet for that heat to escape. You're just cooking yourself. And then you sit in the room, and because the measure of how functional your building is how long it can keep a certain temperature.
Yeah.
If I air condition this room, how long before I start to feel? There are some rooms you turn the air conditioner off within less than a minute.
Yes, you begin to sweat.
It gets hot.
Yeah.
You feel the heat.
Yeah,
That means
you go to restaurants, when the lights go on, you see that immediately
you feel the heat.
you feel the heat. That's true. Restaurants especially.
Place is not well built.
Yeah.
If it is well built, it should be able to keep the temperature. So if we heat the room, it should keep the temperature. If we cool it down, it should keep the temperature. Because you've also not built well, your air conditioner has to work double time. Every air conditioner, or the modern ones, are sensing the temperature in the room. When you put it at 16, for example, it's trying to achieve 16 degrees. Now, if the room doesn't get to 16, the compressor keeps working.
Yeah.
So it keeps going. Compressor is supposed to work sometimes half of the time or 2/3 of the time. Your compressor is consistently on. Electricity that is going. Then you also have people who don't set the air conditioner correctly. So, for example, what is the main cause of heat in our environment? It's not just about the sunlight, it's the humidity. We are in a very humid environment.
And we forget that.
That makes you much more uncomfortable than the heat.
Yeah.
That's why people can go to Dubai, for example. If you wear clothing that covers you and you don't have the sun rays directly hitting you, they function.
Yeah.
Because it's not humid. But over here, you can have the sun not hitting you directly, but because it's humid, you feel uncomfortable, you feel hot within and all. Then you turn the air conditioner on, and it's on the humidity, is on the humidifier side. Most air conditioners have a dehumidifier portion. So you really don't even need the cooling aspect.
Yeah.
So in my house and my child's room, and even in when we run the air conditioner, sometimes you can leave it at 25 and just put it on the dehumidifier. If it doesn't work for you, call me, I'll give you your money back.
But you see, Dalali, then you see, it comes back to all that I have been saying from the first time I even had the lawyers come and sit here. It means that agencies, technocrats, we're not talking to each other. Because this thing, engineers, architects, like, there's supposed to be a coordinated effort all the way down to, like, say, the, how do you call these people? The district assembly, so we go and collect our permits to build. It's like,
but that's where the problem is. If your permitting regime was very strict, okay, where, for example, I remember some time back in California with some guys, and they were trying to do something, and they have been waiting on their permits for over 6 months. Guess what they were trying to put? Just a little, I've forgotten how you people call it. It's a wooden, for want of a, like balcony, it's a raised thing.
Like a platform.
Just a platform. Because
how many months?
It would, at the time I was with them, they were going into their 7th month or something. The drawings they needed to submit because they were modifying the whole thing. Yeah. Now, if by reason of the fact that we have to scrutinize what you are doing, it means we need to get the experts involved.
Where are the experts, Della? You are one of them. Where are you?
People are not ready to, let's face it, pay the experts. They would rather,
that's the truth.
They would rather, the analogy of the car in the trotro, they would rather be taking trotro where it is raining and our public transport is not that efficient. So I'm using that in places where it is efficient. I cannot use this analogy. Yeah. But they would rather ride in a car that they don't know what the driver has taken that day. They don't know when that car was serviced. In fact, they are sitting in the car and the tire is wobbling, they can feel it. And every day they are praying to go. They would rather do that than, try and solve problems that they should. Yeah. So somebody comes to you and says that, listen, one of my pet peeves these days also is people who, when they go to develop a land, the first thing they do is clear all the trees off. So we have to see how the land is. Clear all the trees off. When you can work and allow these trees to act as a shade and even a barrier for heat for you.
That's why now there are mudslides. Which part of the Volta region? And I was like, because people are cutting, you are building on the mountain.
Yeah.
The trees are supposed to live there to even give you nice shade and view as you're on the mountain. You are cutting it all. So you get mudslides.
Anytime it rains and I have to come from Takoradi or Cape Coast, I always dread. In fact, these days, there are 2 places when I'm going, I don't use the road anymore. Any place in Ghana a flight can go, I avoid the road as much as I can.
I have a friend like that. He's a lawyer. He says, now, if it's a come last 2,000, better tickets.
Yes.
In person.
Yes.
But better tickets.
You will drive from Takoradi, get to Wager, and spend way more time from Wager to Odoko than you spent driving from Takoradi to that place. Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And we are in it.
And simply because there's a wash down of rocks from Wager, the hills, coming down Aplaku Hills, all that side. Everybody is built, no retention walls, no trees to hold anything back. Everything just come, and Charlie, we are just all tired.
That's the thing. I remember we had a discussion when the floods came. Who did I bring here? I think it was 3 female architects. They were just looking at me. They're like, they don't even know what, because I was complaining that they too, architects, their heads are always down doing their drawings. They're flying drawings across the country. For not them, but everybody needs drawings.
Yes.
But they are not talking to people, because I'm like, if they are talking and yelling, they're like, who should we talk and yell at? Because even the district assembly, the permits they are giving, that's even where another thing. But nobody wants to come and engage them. So they are there.
Look, we used to stay in Amasaman, and somebody was building, and we moved to the place first. So we sort of imposed some kind of order on the place for a long while before other people moved in. Then, by virtue of the fact that we had been there first and we had imposed that order, naturally, you know what happens in Ghana. The land value over there goes up. Now people want to move there. Now one of them comes and is not following demarcation and has built his wall as close to the road as possible.
My goodness.
So, meaning that eventually when the road is done, that the road is demarcated, we've done everything that should be done. Everybody has their whatever garden, those who can afford to have a little garden, like my old folks, and they had indoor. But they have brought the wall. So tomorrow, where will your children ride their bicycles?
And we don't have that. That's
Where will you safely walk when you are older?
No.
And my son gets a fast sports car. In fact, now he doesn't. Any electric car is very fast, and wants to test it. And you are walking. Where will you safely walk?
Yeah, that's the thing. We are doing anything anyhow, and that is where my problem is right now, because it's like the experts are here. They are coming out from tech. They're coming out from Legon. They're coming out from the technical universities. We know the thing. We understand the thing. We visualize the thing. Like everybody who has come on Decor Live, they understand. Like they don't even need questions. Like we like you and I, we're just talking and we are talking. But the latter when.
So once again, this is I think that we need to have spaces of excellence.
Okay.
You know, for example, take the University of Ghana campus. Well, you walk onto the University of Ghana campus, and it's sometimes difficult to tell that which building is new and which building is old.
Because they've
retained a certain style.
Yeah.
Okay? But the school that teaches architecture in Ghana, the traditional one. You go to University of Cape Coast, you can see a certain style. The space that is being managed is everybody is following what should be followed. All it takes is one buga person to come in, and that's what happened to our friends in Kumasi. You know, you see certain portions of the campus, you see a certain style, then you see certain portions, you say, what is going on?
Kumasi flooded, tech flooded. I mean, when I saw, I was like, it's a flood.
And it's not for lack. The point I'm trying to make is that the issue is not about lack of expertise; it's culture.
Yes.
So if KNUST is facing those problems on their campus, it is not for lack of expertise.
They are there.
It is that somebody comes in, and whether just for legacy reasons or whatever, or wants to make a quick buck, so doesn't care about any other thing. You know, let's just build it in. I went to St. Augustine's College. The school, when we were there, the buildings were sort of a mirror image of each other. So you have the administration seated there, the quadrangle behind St. Teresa's house, the dining hall, reflection of the biology lab, classroom. So when you, it's like when you see those drone shots of the Great Hall and Commonwealth,
you just know.
You see it.
You just know.
Now go back there. Since I supported the policy and everything, I still think it was one of the best policies. But after free SHS, they needed to build a lot of buildings. Everything is out of the window.
Wow.
What that does to the young mind is that my environment doesn't matter. It's that person who is going to come and destroy the environment. So it's not for lack of expertise. It is that we have a culture where look at our villages. Look at Jamestown. Look at Jamestown is not supposed to be a village, but you have a house.
That's the original cantonment.
Exactly. You know, even Kolebu, that area, Latebi or Koshi, which used to be a bougie place. Go back there now and see. Children have come out from the same house. They are trying to build on the same land, but have no sense of spatial management.
Yeah.
So everything is haphazard. So they finish this week. I visited a place and she's building 14 apartments, and apartments are the craze now. They don't care how you access the place. Staircase hidden, some funny place. I'm like, we are not. There was a fire in London that brought building codes for us to learn not to do these things. But now we are doing it. So it's just, let me build whatever. The solution is unfortunate, but you don't want to hear it, which is that you build, you didn't get a permit, it is demolished. No matter how beautiful it is. But if you want to do this, there are mosques and some prominent churches.
And pastors.
No, don't talk about pastors, please.
Delali, you have to
We are
show.
talking about.
Delali, I have to, when I follow you, I'll eat into someone else's time. So if you just tuned in, we haven't ended well, but it's just because the conversation is so broad, and he's going to come next week for a part 2, because this one I want him to come back next week. You heard me. So we're going to do a part 2 next week, and we'll break it down properly on how we can safely invest in solar energy. This today he just started. So next week he's going to come.
Just so you know, it's the cheapest form of energy.
Delali.
It's way cheaper than easy.
Are you? Please. Next show is Highway 1019. Richard Sticks is here. Lots of music. But Delali and I are doing this next week. There has to be a part 2, and there will be. I'll see you next week. And please, you are